Right, something different today. I forgive the shadows. They are under lights as it's winter in the UK, which makes drawing in the daylight very tricky. So, an idea. The F-14. My favourite aeroplane, and many other people out there agree. One of the greatest fighters ever made. Career ended too early and left the US Navy in a pickle, not having the long-range fighter capability and a heavy strike platform for a good period of time. As good as the Super Hornet is, it didn't have the features of the Tomcat, especially in its proposed Super Tomcat 21 version. So today I thought I'd play with the idea of a F-15 EX style idea of an F-14 EX style, which is based a lot on the Super 21 but with a lot of F-15 EX ideas thrown in. So we've got the much bigger swoop for the leading edge of the wing, a Super 21. I've extended the vane behind the cockpit to go all the way to the tail, allowing more fuel storage. Streamlined and given a bit more stealthy thing to the sensors and form them more into the weapons tunnel that goes between the two engines. Keeping the two-seat cockpit, adding an extra pylon to each wing, an outer pylon, and also extra hard points under the engines, the forward section of the engines on the outside, we're still allowing the fuel pods, which the Tomcat is very famous for carrying, under each engine. So overall, a much higher weapons capability. Now, I was tempted to add this Tomcat with the SM-6 standard missile, but I went against it. I thought giving it an AMRAAM main armament with two sidewinders, which was tradition for the Tomcat, although in history the Tomcat never carried AMRAAMs. I thought obviously with a modified upgraded version it would be capable of carrying the AMRAAM-D. Today the best air-to-air weapon in the US inventory. So I've already drawn the Tomcat out, as it was very much a make it up as I go along approach with the idea. I thought today I'll start shading the Tomcat in and give it a bit of colour so it looks a bit more lifelike. So let's play with the idea and see what we come up with. So first of all, let's see what we can get up with. Now I'm just going to experiment with a few different greys. I'm going to keep in its traditional kind of naval grey setup. Might give it a few highlighted features here and there and see what we come up with. So let's see what we come up with here. I'm hoping these colours won't come out too dark. Like I say, it's just a concept, an idea I thought I'd come up with and share with you all. Something a bit different. This has been a long time in waiting to make this video, not had the opportunity. Finally have had the opportunity and I thought I'd take it. Hopefully in the near future I'll have time to do more aviation artwork. Let's see. Trying to just give the colour, just shows the lines. So just a rough concept. A bit crazy. Being it's my beloved F-14, which I am massive fan of. I thought I'll try and do some justice and give it a 21st century modernisation befitting of the plane. Not perfect naval grey, but probably a little bit browny rather than bluey, but we can add some extra highlights on and try and give it a bit more of an edge. Now I don't know how well the missiles are going to show up. I mean, once I fine line penned it, I think we'll have a better look to it. I think just first of all get some lines of colour. Now my setup today is not easy, my camera's not in the best position, so I'm a little bit compromised in my angle of drawing, so kind of unnaturally turning to the side to add the colour. I'd move the picture a bit more. I'm trying to keep it straight as possible so you guys can see it. Kept the gun in its traditional place, the M61. A dependable gun. Used to great effect on a number of occasions. Probably the most amusing is from the film The Final Countdown, where one is used to shoot down a zero. Obviously Tom Cruise uses one to great effect in Top Gun 2 to take down a Su-57. Right, there, we've got a bit of colour on it. It's a bit rough, but it is the first layer of colour, which I'm not too fussed if it looks a bit rough at the moment. You can add to it, so just going to add a little bit of a few highlights over the cockpit to start with. Let's see, hoping this grey won't be too dark. It's a little bit on the dark side, but let's see. Okay. I don't want to make it just too dark. I just think it'll overwhelm the plane too much. I don't really want to go towards that very dark F-14 E colour, which is a much darker grey. Add a few highlights with this colour because I think it might just work as a nice highlighty colour. Trying to keep some of the original features. that would work with the plane, as well as the advanced features of the ST-21. This is all theoretical, because obviously an F-14, had it got to this point, probably would look maybe a lot more different than this. So just an idea, a bit of fun. I think I'll do bottom of that cockpit. Obviously the cockpit is going to have the much more advanced avionics, features glass cockpit, less framework on the frames of the canopy as well. Okay, right. And I just realised I've not coloured the fuel pod first. Adding some little features here and there. Need to get some tones on the cockpit, I think, now, so I'm going to try a different grey. I might go into a little bit of blue maybe for the cockpit again. Some features in there maybe just to make it look a little bit busy. Right, now the laser seekers, we need a bit of a different colour for the seekers. Tempted to go with a reflection, don't you? I'm just wondering if I try just that little bit of purple. Just to see if it will help with the... yeah, that's not bad actually. A little bit of purple just to show the seekers. Right. Now, dark area in there. I'll get that toned in much darker shortly. I think I'm going to go with a slightly darker grey, I think, on some of the features, just to show them up now. There we go. A bit sticking out there is the left hand side of the tail. I think there's another one there somewhere. Now, just off to the left of the drawing, I do have a picture of the ST-21 just as a reference, just for shadows and things, just in case it doesn't quite look right. It's just helping when we get the form and the shape as well. It's always quite useful to have good reference pictures. Right, I think we'll just add a bit of these details in here. Slightly dark red, I think, as well. Now, I think, I don't know whether I'm tempted to keep that grey or go for a slight, I think I'll keep it grey. Just give it a bit more streamlininess to it, just to give it a bit more. There we go. Right, I think I'm not going to put any colour on the missiles. Even though the missiles are kind of a grey, whitey colour, I want them to stand out. So I think what I'll do is get some fine line pen on her, right, and see how she looks. So I'm using a 0.4 fine line pen. It's quite a thin pen for the plane. Should just give it a crisper edge as well, which would be quite nice, I think. Massive large intakes. Now, there's a good chance the F-14 in this advanced form would have ended up with newer engines. The originals having TF-30s, which were very problematic engines. Started to get them right when they eventually, on the F-14Ds, ended up with the F-110 engines, far more efficient, far more powerful. There's a good chance that more advanced engines may have been put on a newer Tomcat. Whether the F-15 engines may have been a viable option, I do believe F-100 engine, possibly down the line the engine that currently equips the F-35, which is an F-135 engine if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That is a very powerful engine which could have easily been put into a Tomcat, I can imagine. Obviously in this guys it's in its air-to-air format, but obviously could have been put into an air-to-ground version, armament, with, it would have carried very large weapons in the certainly under the belly of the aircraft, as well, like the F-14s. D's eventually being re-equipped to carry 2,000 pound bombs, so there's definitely ability there with a modernised Tomcat to carry just the same, if not heavier, ordnance. And a similar vein to the F-15 Strike Eagle, obviously with more smaller hardpoints, could carry capacity to carry more smaller diameter weapons. Very useful in a tactical situation, supporting troops, or precision sight targets where you need different weapons on a single mission. The ability also, which is one of the big key features of the original Tomcat, was the range. Exceptionally long range for a fighter plane, as it was originally equipped to take out Soviet bombers carrying anti-ship cruise missiles. And long range, actually designed also to take out the cruise missiles if need be, with its AIM-54 Phoenix, exceptionally long range air-to-air missile. Which was retired before the Tomcat was retired. The threat had decreased from Russian bombers, and the threat at the end of the Cold War. They found new uses for the Tomcat with its strike capability. Very important feature. Used to great effect. So say the Tomcat's been out of flying with the US Navy for quite a few years now. I think 2006 I think was its final deployment, so quite a while ago now. And it's just been announced Iran is retiring its last remaining Tomcats now as well. Hopefully some will be preserved. It would be lovely to see lovely to see some Tomcats flying in preservation. Yeah. A tall order for anybody to get a Tomcat flying in a preserved state, but if they were to do, I would guarantee they would have a mass following. Right, a nice little hint to the US Navy there. History to have one flying would be rather lovely. It would be a lovely thing. Right, I think we are very close to having a completed aeroplane. Get the other ram done on the other side, which I'd forgotten to do. Certainly a bit of a random concept, this one, but a bit of fun. It was quite nice to do something a bit different. Something I've been thinking about for quite some time, and drew the concept. A few bit more detail here and there, just makes it look a bit busier. Like I say, it's not a perfect picture, it's not meant to be perfect, but it's a bit of fun. A bit of fun, and I hope lots of people can see this video. Nice happy memories of the Tomcat in service, and what possibly a future may have looked like for the magnificent aircraft. That's a bit better. So I think there, aren't we? There's much else to add. So I'm probably starting to fiddle a little bit now. I think little bits on here and there. So, an F-14 EX. And there we go. An idea. A possible future that was missed. At the end of the day, a bit of fun. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate it a lot. And goodbye. Thank you.